I have cringed every time this week I've heard people compare Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady, being on the same arc, the same track. It's stupid. It's really quite stupid. And there is a couple of elements at play in the modern sports media that aggravate me to no end. We've got to fill so much time these days. I mean, think about this. 40 years ago, there's no sports talk. There is no sports debate shows on television. There is little sports content outside of the games that you watch on Saturdays, Sundays, what have you. So there is no need to continuously debate back and forth and to fill hours upon hours upon hours of opinion. There were newspaper columnists that would make points, would make arguments. There were sports magazines like Pro and Sport and Sports Illustrated, but those weren't used for making arguments or debate points. So you just didn't need to fill hours of volume constantly. And look, I do 4 hours a day every weekday. Football season, I do 2 hours every Sunday. And I also do 2 hours locally in New York now on Saturdays. I'm filling a lot of time of just content, opinions, debates, points, making arguments. I get it. I'm part of it. I'm in this processor, this food processor. So to fill the void, so many people will just rely on GOAT stuff, Mount Rushmore stuff, ranking stuff, because it's fun, it's easy, etc. A lot less fun to talk about, okay, well, what type of defense do you think that the Chiefs should employ on third downs on Sunday? So I understand why it happens, but it leads to this incessant droning of ranking the same things over and over and over and over and over again. And so now the only thing left now that Tom Brady is retired is, well, Brady's retired, Peyton retired, Montana's been retired, Rodgers ain't catching anybody in terms of that greatest of all time thing. So who do we turn the attention to? Mahomes, yes. This Jordan LeBron thing is exhausting. And I thought to myself the other day when he passed Kareem, what happens if the take is just, there's no answer to this? That was just the most sensible take. That Michael Jordan was great, but couldn't do all the things LeBron does. And LeBron is great, but LeBron didn't have a certain next level that Michael did in NBA Finals games or willing a franchise, et cetera. And so you could just say they were both really great, but there is no answer there. There is no better. Kareem was really great, but there is no better. And what happens if that became the consensus? It would halt all of this ranking 1 versus 2, 2 versus 3. Oh my God, Jalen Rose as LeBron James 4. What will we do? You don't know basketball. He does know basketball. He can't know basketball. He's played basketball. What happens if you could just say, no, there's no answer there? It'd be kind of amazing. But then what do you do for another 3.5 hours? So this Mahomes thing is aggravating to me because let's just say Patrick Mahomes wins 5 Super Bowls. That's a greater career if you are marking championships than Joe Montana, than John Elway, than Peyton Manning. But it would fall too short of Tom Brady. Is that simply how you rank things? Just that one-digit number at the end of the resume of how many championships? Well, what happens if Patrick Mahomes wins 5 NFL championships but holds all the passing records? What happens if Patrick Mahomes only wins, quote, only 3? I mean, there's such a body of work to unfold that to suggest we know anything today is totally ludicrous. It's utterly ludicrous. I mean, to suggest that in 2003, when Brady won his second title, that you would be like, okay, he's on the track of Joe Montana now, so I think he's going to be the greatest. It would be stupid. I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. Not to take a shot at the competitor, but the morning show on ESPN Radio had a promo running that said, have the Eagles built a new dynasty? And I had to, I hear a lot of crazy things in sports talk. Have the Eagles built a dynasty? The Eagles hadn't won the NFC Championship game yet, and we were already spinning this forward of how many championships could the Eagles win? What are we doing? We can't even wait for games to be played before we start playing with legacies. I love Mahomes, but I mean, talking about could he be the GOAT is so ridiculous. And this is going to sound probably arrogant, but if you start distilling sports takes into who has the most rings, you're kind of not that intellectual about the topic. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of analysts just do that they didn't really think about the question. They just kind of have like this immediate hot take. And that's ultimately the problem with discussions these days and analysis these days, that once you get into the weeds, people just, their eyes glaze over and they don't want to do the work and they kind of like, they're bored by it. And so you have to keep zapping hot takes. Zap, 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 zap. And the Mahomes thing is the next thing. And it's annoying. It's really annoying. It's extraordinarily annoying. Just so is LeBron versus Michael. I just think that it's so exhausting and tired. And, we're going to do this for the rest of our lives here? LeBron versus Michael? That's just going to be the rest of our lives. I have a hard time digesting all of that. So, long answer to a short question. Yeah, I think the Mahomes GOAT thing is simple-minded, overly simplistic, and dumb. I just think it's ultimately dumb. If Mahomes loses this Super Bowl, suddenly that's it, rest of his career, we can never crown him the best. Well, maybe not. If he wins it, maybe not. I mean, it's just people want answers of everything right now, and I think this happened with the internet. I mean, there's a lot of good things that happen with the internet, but the internet caused this bum rush of information at your fingertips at all times so that we don't really want process anymore. We don't want it. We can't do it. It's answer, answer, answer. I'm not absolving myself of this either, but it's like, I heard 2 seconds of that song in an elevator. I heard a half a second of that song as it was tailing out on the radio. I heard somebody reference that song in conversation. Immediately pop it up. I need to hear that song right now on YouTube, boom, or on Apple Music, boom. I need to hear that song right now, boom, boom, boom. Like there is no that's a good song. Maybe I'll wait till I get home to watch it. No, boom, here, now. What's that song? Need that song? Lyrics? Who wrote it? That's right. What year was it? Okay, boom. Nobody cares about process. Nobody cares about letting something play out. It's just info now, or else I'm out.